Welcome back on the show, everyone, and thank you for tuning in again. It's Temi Ajayi here, and I've got my mate, Miss Greatness, and Heidi Soliman. I like that. That's so good. So it's been fantastic. We're very happy to be here this week again to bring our little nuggets to your for your reference if possible. But it's been an amazing week. I must seize this opportunity to say thank you to Oe. In fact, I have been so spoiled, ladies, you got no idea. I wasn't going to do anything. Truly, true to God, I was very comfortable. I was very happy, and I just want to be. But I was
Which is
dazed.
what you did. You didn't do anything. It's just the people around you who, were taking you here and there. And I'm like, wow, this is the most quiet of birthdays from you. But look at the activity around that.
I had to caution myself to say, Temi, it was too big and it was so much that I thought I have to share with my friends and my well wishers, and I had to reduce it. I mean, like last night, I didn't even show anything. If I showed you last night, it's mind blowing. So I'm sure Heidi was looking at me as, is Temi going to go live? I didn't go live yesterday. I didn't go live for most of the things that has been happening this week, like it's been crazy. But I truly want to say thank you. My husband, I don't know how, this guy does things a lot of times that just blows me. I'll be thinking, "Well, are you for real?" It's crazy. He just went over to this time. I mean, he's done bigger things, a lot of things, but this again is it's new and it's fresh and it's different. So, I beg your pardon, Pastor, Doctor Bumi Olaniwaju Oliver Ajayi, God bless you. Thank you. I adore you. I love you and I appreciate you for what you do. And I pray that, the Lord will repay you back for good. And that's the example of men that we want in this life. Men that we allow their wives to thrive, that we allow their wives to just shine, because then you're the one shining anyway. It's your thing. So I pray that these issues of women and men, one day God is going to help us, for us to be able to see the future, to be able to see that there is beauty and fun in togetherness. I was just coming from a father, my father. The flower is from my other father, Daddy I was going to say Ayedogbo, Adegbola. He went and he's like, "What? Old man went and bought me flower for my birthday and everything." So, and he's got one of the most beautiful relationships as well that we can ever imagine. And it's not that things are not rocky roll, in the thing, but they stabilize it. Both of them, both the mom and the daddy, and we see it play out. We know them, inside and out, and how they manage that relationship. Impressive. And that's why God is sustaining their lives till today. They're still strong, they're still youthful, they're still beautiful because of that relationship. But anyway, I admire people that are doing good. I really do. And I celebrate them. So, to all the men that are doing well out there, we celebrate you, we honor you. And to the wives that are, you know, and is it accepting or understanding? Let's say understanding. God bless you, and your service and your whatever it is that it's going, maybe pain, maybe joy, whatever it is, God is going to crown you with good goodness because of that too. You can see how passionate I am anyway about these relationship things, and I just wish it for everybody to enjoy fun, to have fun and just enjoy life. You don't do life alone. But and to the ladies, thank you. Thank you so much. You ladies started this trouble. You started it. You took me to Egypt. So I appreciate you so much. God bless you. I don't know. This whole show looks like it's a Thanksgiving show, but that's not what this segment is about. We got something else to talk about. But do you think we should just break it? Go on a quick break, and we'll be back.
Yeah.
Welcome back on the show. Now, last week we talked about women cheating. The week before we talked about men cheating. So at the end of our show, usually we debrief, we talk about it. What have we done? What have we haven't we done? Do we da da da? And a suggestion came that we must not leave things hanging. That we've identified some factors that are linked to the issues of infidelity and how the men perceived it, what the women perceive, and what else do we have to give as a sort of our own point of view, how we think a relationship could be more healthier, so we don't get to the issues of cheating to start with. And I thought we talked about few things last week. Um, I just put few things that I thought about. Liz, do you want to give a suggestion? Because
Well, yeah, as you rightly say, over the last 2 weeks, in between the conversations, there are quite a number of things that came out, but we just wanna, re-emphasize them again. And I particularly like what Heidi said, that partners should be intentional in the relationships, and they should be on the alert and to look out for how small things start, so that you can pick up the telltale signs in the beginning already, something that is unbecoming in the relationship and that probably you know persists, that from your perspective can lead to something that is undesirable, and that the couples can talk about these things. My point is the conversation. It's the talking about those things, not let things slide. I've realized that there is no small thing when it comes to a relationship unless the understanding is shared. But if you are the only one who thinks this is a small grape and it's not going to grow into a watermelon, then it's you are wrong. Both the two of you need to see that as a small grape and even see the color for what it is. So that comes from a conversation. Do you also think this is a green grape, or is this a brown one? That kind of a conversation, so that we both share the same. So talking about things regardless of how minute, and definitely being alert about the little things that are seeping into the relationship unnoticed, and then calling them out for what you think they are, so that the understanding is shared. That for me would be a point of departure.
lovely. Heidi, any contribution to, apart from deal with the issue and the little thing that might creep in? You have? Are you unmuted?
Sorry. Yeah, I just had the ambulance right next to my room, and yeah, I just wanted to mute myself. Yeah, so one of the things that came up for me this week, which was really interesting, is that I was talking to a client,
Mhm.
and she was contemplating asking and thinking about going for a divorce from her husband, and this came up she's a new client of mine. Haven't really worked with her for a long time, so she's very new. And she is telling me today that, not today, but like that day, she was telling me that she was thinking about asking for divorce. And when I spoke to her and asked her, why would you know, ask for divorce? Have you contemplated this? Have you asked this? Have you communicated this with your husband? And you know, so many aspects and so many different things that she hasn't really addressed it. She hasn't really communicated it. And the obvious question is, well, if you haven't communicated what you want, how are they going to understand and how are they going to know? You know, I told you, Temi, that I like this that way. Then
Yeah.
you know that I like this that way. I know you like hot tea. I'm
Mm-hmm.
never gonna serve you lukewarm tea.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what you like. Why would I mess up with you and do something that you don't like? Well, but you have communicated with me that. You've
Right.
told me that you only like really hot tea.
Mm-hmm. Extra.
And Liz has told me that she likes her cake out of the oven.
That's right.
So I know.
Yes.
That's true.
So she has communicated her needs to me. Liz has told me what she needs. She has expressed it. She has talked about it. She has verbalized it. Someone else hasn't. Then we expect the other person to just know. They're not mind readers. People need to understand. People need to know. People need to be having conversations.
Yeah.
Please
Very,
have conversations. Please
very good.
communicate well. Please don't just stay silent. Talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I always call it, have you ever had a conscious conversation? When was the last time you've had a conscious conversation with your partner?
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you've done that with your daughter, with your colleagues? A conscious conversation where we are both not attached to anything. However, we are both working on something so we can both learn something.
I agree with you. Communication, and if you're dealing with someone, you really need to know their do's and don'ts. We know that brought me to this saying. Last night we were out, and Heidi loves to dance, and she's been talking about dancing and dancing. And so any dance, I'm like, Heidi would be life to be here. But then she sleeps at 9 o'clock. I know she wakes up early, but she sleeps at 9. We got to party at 9, and Heidi wants to go to bed at 10. So I'm like, well, she took a Uber, she went to Crown, she spent all this money, she did everything, she just danced a bit, and then she's done. But this is Heidi. If I wasn't aware of Heidi's a norm, I'll be very upset. Heidi, we I was gonna say we've flown down to this place for this party that way, and then she wants to sleep, and she did anyway. And she left. She left. This is Heidi. And also, we know Heidi is very discreet in the way she does things. We were dancing on the dance floor. And then I said, let me go and get Bumi to come and dance with us. And she was dancing with the group of people, other my friends. And Heidi looked around for a second that I wasn't there. She ran away from the dance floor. And she came to me and said, why did you leave me with those strangers? With the men, Heidi. This is a party of about 500 people. No one is going to steal you away from here. But this is Heidi. I know that. I just laugh my head off. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a problem. We're going to talk to Heidi later. But you need to know so you're not offended. She ran away, and that's the story. But anyway, my own little nugget that I want to say is one of the catastrophic thing, one of I think is the hazardous thing is an assumption. We talked about, I always talk about this. I think it's an hazard or catastrophe or whatever, something, I don't even know the word, is an assumption because you can assume wrongly. So if you don't communicate, do you know how I put it, people? I actually think it's a sin. I look at it as a sin because, when Bible talks about you're ignorantly sinning, but there's no permission for that, and there's no uh sin is a sin. If I think somebody hated me and I'm angry about this person, but this person didn't hate me, the person had an issue with him or herself at the time, and I'm here angry at that, it's just so sad. So communication, you cannot, but there's a way we can teach on how to communicate, especially if it's not your style, if it's not thing, or you're scared of the man or the woman. If you communicate, they get angry, there's a way you can get that. That's why you need mentorship, you need somebody to train you, you need a coach. It's not that bad. You'll be amazed that this man is not as bad and this woman is not as bad. What a sad situation when you lose something good thinking it was bad. I feel bad, literally. But anyway, a relationship needs to be nurtured, needs to be supported. And as we say, you need to know the root cause of the behavior. Can they be helped? Can they be helped? I know someone that got married and thought, when I'm married, all I have to do is to cook for the man and clean the man's house and do everything. That's what. But I don't need to sleep with the man. When the man said, "We married now, honey, we need to sleep," she ran back to her parents' house. True story. She ran away and she's been married. They done the wedding, but she thought, I'm only supposed to just look after you, not you can't touch me. If you're gonna touch me, I will run away. Sounds like what Heidi will do. I'll run away. I'm kidding. But that's not our topic today. We just thought we'll come and just nurture your relationship, value what you have, appreciate it. They often talk that people go to university to study for 4 years, 7 years, whatever to do, but you don't go to any school to study relationship. But so give yourself time to understudy and again appreciate little things. We won't say more than that. We will go on a quick break and we'll be back. Welcome back on the show. I've got something different that I want to throw and get your own opinion on. I was on last week, I heard over the news that a girl child, that we need to ask our girls different questions. You know how your girl go to school and you say, how was school? Fine. How are you? Fine. So there was a talk that we should be asking them a deeper question, like, for example, if someone did something wrong by your peer girlfriend, um, would how would you react? How would you respond as a friend? If somebody, and specifically, if somebody did something wrong by your peer pupil in school and they tell them off, or they racist against them, or they sexist against them, or something, or they try to put them down, how would you respond? And we should be teaching the girls how to respond and how to be there for their girlfriend, for their peers. For me, as good as that might have sounded, I personally don't think we should be infusing this in the girl's brain, little girl, to stand up for your friend and fight for them. What is this fight about? And why does it have to be girls that they're putting down? And specifically, it was a big talk on the radio to teach the girls to be able to stand up for their peer girls. And in case they sexist against them. So, Liz, I thought this might interest you to call a girl out and tell them to stand up. What do you think? I didn't get that right.
I think in terms of empowering our girls to be
Okay.
confident and to be able to assert themselves, an earlier start is quite good. We don't just want our girls to know that they are fine, but we also want our girls to know when they are not fine, what to do. As emotional beings, if something affects Heidi or if it affects you, inevitably it affects me as well.
For sure.
But what am I doing when I have those emotions that, Temi was treated inappropriately, or, you were taken advantage of? Do I just hear you out and, that's it? While maybe I know that this is the avenue you could have taken. So I think it's a good way to be able to empower our girls to already as a child asserting themselves in terms of their knowledge and their confidence, so that at each level it blossoms appropriately even the more. If it is not there already and we want to cultivate it at 15, it's a bit difficult because assertiveness doesn't come, natural and easy to everybody.
Okay.
But if at an early age, it's kind of worked and developed slowly, slowly, then eventually you will be able to work easily for each level according to its demands. And therefore, I think it's a good empowerment tool for parents to be able to ask the questions and support the children accordingly, because sometimes you wouldn't realize kids probably don't even know the police line, the number. And it's only through such conversations that you can say, okay, if somebody drives with the two of you and you've got the phone, at least you can call this number. How would you know if you don't ask? So I think it's a good line of questioning. It's a good empowerment. And as long as it is used appropriately at the level that the children are at, I'm absolutely for it.
Now you're talking, I guess maybe if they said our children, maybe I would have had a different interpretation of the thing. I guess my problem was they said the girls. So I'm
The
just
girls,
wondering what happened to the boys, Heidi.
exactly. I get you on that score. And definitely, I think the empowerment goes both ways. We need to
Right.
empower both the boy and the girl.
Yeah, it's so important that we also, there's two questions here. What is my responsibility towards how my friend or my peer has been treated, and to what level do I want to be involved? Two questions. What is my responsibility, and to what level would I like to be involved? Because
Mhm.
some people in themselves, they are not okay to deal with someone else's mess.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
so it's important that I understand my own um, boundaries and my own limitations. And do I want to be involved in that, or do I not want to be involved? There is,
Okay.
there is, there is, Temi, even though I'm a life coach and even though I help a lot of people, I sometimes go, you know what? I'm not touching this. I'm not going there. I'm not going there because it's not my responsibility. When I get asked to interfere, then it becomes one of the things that I consider as a responsibility. But if I'm not, I am not.
Mm.
Okay? I would see the signs, I would read them, and I would bring them up, but I'm not responsible for anyone else's results or life or choices. I'm responsible only for mine. When I get invited to be involved, I'll be involved. But I get involved also with boundaries. This is, remember what we talked about when we talked about unsolicited advice.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
are we going to be solicited here?
Mhm.
My daughter Anna, she goes to school, she's in year 12, and one of her friends has a big issue at home. And I asked Anna if I could, help out. And she said, no, it's not your responsibility. It's not my responsibility either. If she puts her hand up and she says, please help, we can help. Other than that, we can't.
Hmm. Right. Good angle. Good angle, because I think everything you both said is valid. And I think really also we should be mindful of the environment that we're in. So, from where I'm coming from, we teach all our children, like they're saying on the radio. I think I forgot that radio station, yeah, last week actually, because it just came to me and I got carried away by the talk. Now, where we come from is like, you have to stand for your friend, you have to fight, you all have to do the same thing. But it's interesting that angle that ID is coming from right now, that you have to, and we talk about unsolicited advice as well. Now that we've grown up, we know that if you're not called into something, we don't. But it's taking, some of us still don't know till now.
Yeah.
If they're not watching this video, they're still not gonna know. They still think everybody's problem is their problem and they have to put mouth, when in in actual fact, that person in Australia, they say, I just want you to listen. I just want a pair listening ears. I just want a shoulder that I will cry and don't tell me to stop. Let me just do the cry. So different environment, determines how you operate in that environment truthfully. And like you said, all the children, they don't have the same capacity. Some are stronger than the others, some are very private, some are just, they just self-respect in a way that, I don't want to be wayward. They give it different names, and that is to them, and that's also okay, because that's the way it's perceived. So I think either way, for my side, I think whatever you're going to do to the boys, teach it to the girls. Let's generally teaching people. You want to teach a boy to be kind, teach the girl to be kind. You want to teach a girl to stand up for a girlfriend, generally, we should all be looking out for each other if possible. So I guess that was my point. But these people were really particular about girls. I'm thinking, if you start to feed the girls and say, if somebody bully your girlfriend, if the boy talk to your girlfriend, what are we teaching these girls really? They will think life is about fight. Life is all about war. Everybody is against me, against my friend. That's the angle I'm trying to look. If you give a blanket instruction like that to parents, some parents are not matured enough to handle it differently too. So like what I did, I would say to that my daughter, look out for your friend and look out for the boy too. But some parents will take it as you just gave it, like as gospel, and they will go and say, fight for your girlfriend, fight. And that's why people keep fighting all their lives. I thought that was interesting to share. We're gonna go on a quick break and we're gonna come back for today's topic, because we actually have a topic for today. But we thought we'd throw that in. We'll be back. Welcome back on the show, and truly thank you for following us. And I often forget to say, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube page, I wonder, are you being kind or are you just being not kind? you know, you don't want to wait for us until we're big and then you're trying to subscribe and then we say no. So go ahead and subscribe right now. But anyway, we've got a topic today. Should you run if your spouse does not support your business? Are they in your business? Should you run? You know, I know we've been having some, especially Liz was asking some question like, yeah, she's confused. Why are you running? Where are you running to? But I think the question is saying, if you have somebody like a future partner and they're not aligning with your future, why do you want to go into that future with them? I think run away, literally. run away. If you can nip it in the head before you get too entangled, I think, yeah, that's just what came to my mind, like when it came like that. But I'm gonna throw it to Heidi. Would you run? Are you running?
One thing I do really well, Temi, is run.
You run, yeah, you run, all right.
You know what? I ask myself that question all the time. Is this thing that I'm doing right here,
Saving.
whatever it is, this conversation I'm having, this communication I'm doing, or this session I'm having, whatever it is, does it align with my highest value? If it's not, what am I doing here? Run. Okay. I went to the Crown last night for this dancing thing, and I loved it, you know. But the
Yeah.
question that came to me was, you know what? You've got a client at 5 o'clock in the morning. You need to at least sleep for 4 hours. What are you doing here? Is it going to be fun, or is it going to be a responsibility? Which value are you going to have? Which value is in the highest top your priorities? And it was responsibility. Well, I'm going to run. And I did. I ran home, just said, that's good. I danced for half an hour, or I can't remember how long, but, it was good. I loved it. I was happy. I saw you. I saw Boomy. I had an amazing time. And that was, I know when to say no, and I know when to run, and I know when to, but so in general, Temi, I believe that whether we like it or we don't, what is in your highest value is going to present itself. Is the relationship itself with the man or with the woman or with whatever it is in my highest value, or is my vision my highest value? Which one is it? At some point of time when I was married, I had no vision. I had no vision.
I was gonna go there. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. I didn't think I had vision too. So that was gonna be my next question, because when I went into a relationship, I didn't really have, I was doing something, but I didn't call it vision. I didn't call it future. I didn't call it, anything. And so I wasn't expecting anything. So, and I was thinking, wasn't that okay not to like preempt, or, but least.
Um, I don't know what exactly you want me to answer, but I'll start with the last. I
So
think,
the question is, should you run if you have a future partner? I'm
okay.
asking you the topic of the day.
Oh, okay,
Would
good.
you run away if the man that you're looking to spend the rest of your life with is not aligning with whatever it is you're doing at the time, or trying to dissuade you from pursuing your future goal, or always antagonizing whatever you're doing, and you're going to spend the future? Would you still stay there?
I think, if the person doesn't really align with your vision, with the direction that you see your life, I mean, and we've got different dimensions about who and what we are, and as Heidi rightly said, it's about the highest value. So, if there is no alignment in the values, and we have really made it very, very clear in this show over and over again that we now realize and understand that relationships are based and built on values. It's not about your goosebumps that you feel when you see the person. So if really there are no synergies between the values that you hold dearly, and particularly the vision, the direction that you see yourselves, in the future, then what are you doing there? What are you building on? The good thing for the generation now is they have the knowledge. We didn't know we had to align with visions. All we knew was, The man must come and he must know where he's taking the family. And the only thing that we needed to hear is this guy is going to buy a house and he's going to, you're going to have children and he will be able to pay for the school fees. That's all we needed to hear then. And
Yeah.
then we thought we are in good hands.
Yeah. Goodbye. That's it.
But that's not a vision. Buying a house is not a vision. You have to do that anyway. So now the kids, we've got this platform, and there are so many other opportunities where the children hear and know exactly already, even before they get entangled to somebody or before they share their lives to somebody, that they themselves should have a vision for themselves. And the partner needs to support this vision in one or the other way. But if already, even before we've started, you're antagonizing my vision, it's telltale. It's absolutely telltale that, something is not aligned between the two of us. And if we cannot talk it out and see where we stand with it, unfortunately, cut court for me.
Okay, we're gonna go on a quick break, and I'll come back to throw a spark in it. We're back. Welcome back on the show. We're still talking about, should you stay with someone that you know they are at a time not saying what you're saying? They're not in your vision at a time. I know that I said initially I thought I would run. Like you said, Liz, I guess if I'm as wise as I am now, hmm, I don't even know how to put this. When I was getting entangled with my husband, I said, I didn't know. I was just in love, freedom. You know how you have to hide to kiss a boyfriend? You don't need to hide now. I can hold somebody. I was so happy. And I think today, like even when I'm holding his hand and I say, let's kiss, my husband said, you don't need to kiss outside. Don't hold hands. I'm too happy. Now I can flaunt, I can show people that I'm big enough, I can have it. So I was no future ambition person, so to say. Don't care. Not that I still care. But I'm looking at, thank God that the man is in my vision. However, at a time also, I need to put this in. I didn't know whether it was something that I like or my future. I like to take photo. I've always loved to take photo, even when I was 10 years old. My first gift that I know was a Polaroid for camera. I like to take photo. Everybody, tree, my grandmother, and they tell me off. I'll go to my uncle everywhere. I know that at a time my husband was getting really angry with my photography and videography. It's like, enough. Do you have to? Every now and then he still says it, but is in this hanging out with Temi that we're doing today. By the way, he's our admin. He will schedule our program. He will remind me that if you send the link to the ladies, he's in it. But then at a time, he really doesn't want me to do Facebook. He don't want me to take a photo. So I'm thinking, if I was deeply wise at the time, and I thought that's what I liked, and you kept on putting me down, maybe I should have run. This is what I kept on thinking. So, and also I'm looking at the angle of our innocence, because I call what you said, Liz, the time that we just want to marry somebody, to have children, to take them to build a house. So, what's wrong with that? And as you grow together, things start to evolve, and then you start to build, because sometimes even your future changes. You might think you want to be a lawyer. I really wanted to be a lawyer to start with. And then I came to Australia, I became a nurse. I was a secretary. So I was secretary back in Nigeria, doing really good with my secretarial job. And now things kept on evolving, evolving. So which one is this man going to even support and align with? So I'm thinking, what's wrong with that natural evolving and just love? I know love doesn't have a definition, like, what's love? I'm just saying the innocence, you know, just love one another and just be um naturally, and I think it's about trusting as well. If you know that this guy really, whatever is against at that time has nothing to do with your personality or your person, it's probably that time it wasn't right. At the time he says don't take photograph, don't take video, it wasn't right. But now he knows that. I think that's what I will support. But what if I've thrown the towel at the time, Heidi? This is what I kept on thinking. I'm gonna, please hold that naivety and that innocence. Hold that. The second one is, maybe I should let you speak to that, because I have another one about the rigidity of, I know this is my future, he's not in it, and I'm going, and you cut it today, and things can change tomorrow. Heidi, do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to put a point across. I don't know if it's coming across clearly.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, because I'm not sure if I actually got what you meant.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so does that mean that you went into the relationship and you wanted to do something and Bumi was not aligning with what you wanted?
Well, it's not in absolute. It's not in absolute, but my what do you call it? My passion for photography, for example, he wasn't interested in it. My passion for videography, he wasn't interested in it. And I knew that I like it. That's what I want to do. And then it took a while for him to get over it, but he got over it. And now he bought me the camera. He bought me $5,000 computer. But at the time, it was very strong. Like, I'm not doing it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's not that I want to go into it. When I went into it, I was ignorant. I wasn't thinking of, because these days I need to make this case, the girls, they have their plans and their don'ts and their boundary, and they stick to it. Why do you have to be that rigid? Because things can change along
Yeah.
the line. That is
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
point.
I get it. So Temi, this is a really important point, and thank you for raising that. You know what? I'm very different than you. Extremely different.
Yeah.
Okay? I see that we are together in some areas, we are not so together in so many other areas.
Hmm.
Does that mean that I can't hold your hand and you can't hold mine while we are in the journey together, doing something together? Of course we can. Of course we can. The person that is going to be my partner as a friend or as an intimate partner or as even a business partner, we don't need both to be having the same vision. We don't
Good.
need to have the same vision.
That's good.
We can have different visions because we bring in different things to the business, because we bring in different values to the relationship. Look,
Mhm.
when I was married, my ex-husband, he had the money vision, the company vision, this vision, this area. And I had a different area altogether. I just wanted to have kids and raise girls. This is what I wanted at that time. That was my vision, if I had a vision. And then slowly, when the girls grew up, I wanted to be involved in his vision. So I went and I studied MBA because I wanted to understand his business. I wanted to understand more of what he's doing. So I went and I studied some of that. So I went and I helped him in his business. But I wanted to be part of his vision because I thought that will bring us more closer as a
Right.
family unit with the girls as well.
Good
So
one.
that's what I felt. But it doesn't mean that we are both going in the same direction. We could be heading to the same destination, but in different ways. You came from your office. You came from Point Cook to the Crown. I came from Boleyn to the Crown. We came from different areas, but to the same destination. You drove your car. I took an Uber, but we came to the same place. We landed at the same place, but with different means. So, so I don't believe that being so attached to, I have straight hair, you have curly hair, someone else might have no hair.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to have the same vision. We certainly need to acknowledge each other's vision though.
Lovely.
And then, support each other in whatever needs to be supported.
I like that. We're gonna go on a quick break, and I want Liz to speak to the rigidity and the running straight away. Be back. Welcome back on the show. We're still talking about the topic: should you run if your partner is not in support of your business or your future? And we're talking about, we just discussed about innocence. You just going into a relationship pure, no presumptions or anything. And I just want to throw a question, because I know that some people, some youth or married people might watch this video and then they're trying to get something. But I want us to speak to the fact that, does it mean you are not intelligent if you go into a relationship with open heart, with clean slate, and don't write things down, like, if he doesn't like this, I'm gonna go. If you don't, these people are writing things down now, and I'm saying we are at different stage at different times in life. A pastor, for example, said the wife heard clearly that she's going to marry a pastor. And then she knew, she's confirmed. People said to her, and however the person she got in contact with or entangled with was something like a loser, somebody who is just a street boy. And the girl is like, this is not it. The pastor, God showed me pastor. And then she told the guy, God told me I'm going to marry a pastor, but you're far from it. You need to be a pastor. And the guy is like, are you kidding me? What? Is that even a job or what? And today the man is a pastor. So that dream that the girl had came to fruition, because the man is a big pastor now in America. But at the time, he wasn't a pastor, and she married. I'm just thinking about, how do we speak to a little bit of flexibility? I'm not saying be frivolous. I'm not saying, if you're smart, if you want to call that smart, how do we speak to people not to be extremely rigid? I just feel that it really, you might just be wrong. Liz, that's the angle I'm trying to look at.
Yeah. Look, I want to say that there are different dimensions to who and what we are. The same person who is now, maybe a student could be equally a mother at the same time,
Yeah.
could be a breadwinner in one or the other area, could be taking care of a family in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and probably even have other ambitions beyond after the first degree or whatever have you, yet also wanting to become a wife.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
So
possible.
yeah, and within all those, you may have, and I'm coming to the highest value that Heidi was talking about. What is the highest value among these things?
Mm-hmm.
What is priority at this point in time? And how do your values align? What's the vision for this part? Because yes, the vision is ultimate. But within that, you've got objectives that build towards the vision. You don't achieve your vision in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
You achieve objectives that are supporting your vision so that in 5 years, this is where you are. That's what a vision is. In 5 years, in 10 years. So you've got 1 month, 1 year, whatever objectives that are building towards that. How does my partner align to that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the running comes from. If you see that in my 5-year vision,
Mm-hmm.
this guy is antagonizing my objective one, objective two, objective three. He's
Mm-hmm.
making this objective of mine small. He's speaking it down to nothing. I mean, I as a person would think, why would you do that? We may discuss that, and if you still don't understand and you're still making it down to nothing, and what I'm up to is, for losers and what have you, then maybe I'll have to really look into what I'm doing here. But if I see that as much as you are not aligning with what I am seeing, the reason why I am doing a certificate in community services today, but you are not seeing how I'm building that up in my vision, in my 10-year vision, how I'm building it up to where I see myself. So you are not supporting that, but you are saying, well, that's what you want to do. That's all right. I'll drive you to uni or whatever. You know what I mean? I see that you don't, you're not in it, but you're giving me the leeway to do what I want to do. That's good.
That's
10
good.
years down the line, I'll have my PhD and you will sit pretty because you supported me all the way. You like the woman with a PhD, but you also did not make the woman with a certificate down to a loser. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if there is support, even though you don't like,
Mm-hmm. Get it.
and that's the open mind you are talking about, don't be rigid. If you're a rigid person, has got, you are working with your 1 month objective or you've got a 1 month vision. No, have a 5-year vision, have a 10-year vision, have objectives that are building to the vision. That's how you will see where the person fits. If you're working with 1 month in 12 months, you are narrowing yourself down too much. And by so doing, you will miss out on what could have supported you 5 years down the line. I hope that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. I like that a lot. We go on a quick break and we'll come back to round it up. I think we are alluding to, like we said, you're coming from here, but at the end of the day, we meet there, even though we're different people, and we could still work together by understanding. But let's go on a quick break and then we round it up by finalizing our own view on this. Welcome back on the show. So, my opinion on this whole issue, I need to frame it all right. I know that these days is different from our days. So the girls that are writing something down, I'm not totally condemning them because the boys are writing their visions down too. Okay, so there's no point the boys writing vision and then we say girls don't write. You cannot write your vision because that's the way you operate these days. But my thing is, man proposes, God disposes. These days, I don't know, some people might not have that God factors in things. So you could be planning for 5 years. Who says we're going to be here in 5 years? Who tells you that? Anything can change. Situation. At a time, Heidi was a millionaire. At a time, Heidi said she was homeless. At a time, she was buying brand new BMWs. I mean, she told me one time they bought like 5 a day or what, 6 in one day. And at a time, she was in a situation that so you don't know where you're going to be. So always put God factor. I just want to throw that in. Man proposes, God disposes. One. Number two, sometimes when you're seeing something, you see a child saw an aeroplane up and say, oh, what's that little thing going? Oh, it's disgusting. And then the same aeroplane landed and you go, wow, what is majestic? Depends on which lens you're looking through. You might see an elephant and you say it's the head, and somebody sees the tail. So I just want to say one thing, just you might not see it clearly at the time, and they might not see it clearly on the time. But if you're gonna go in future with someone, has to be somebody that you can trust, somebody that you can respect. Because if you're antagonizing my future, means you don't even respect that I have a little bit of intellect. It means you don't like, what I think it was Liz that just said it. It might just be okay, I'm not really totally into this, but I will drive you to uni to go and do your course. I'll just drive a little bit of support that you can. And if they lose, if it doesn't come through, it doesn't come, it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the day. You don't say, oh, look at you now. You want to get PhD. Look at you, you dropped out. That is a narcissistic behavior. You don't need to put them down. At least they tried. Because if they don't, you are the one that's going to say you don't do anything, you don't achieve anything. So a little bit of trust, a little bit of respect, understanding, and just be kind. I think we said, I can't say be kind to one another. I'm going to stop there. I'll let you round this show up, ladies. And Liz, well, got anything else to say? We got 2 more minutes to go. And Heidi.
Yeah, I think as you already said, nothing is cast in stone. So we really need to be open for the eventualities of life as well. The very same person who is supporting you today can be sitting tomorrow without a leg. So what happens? Do you run now because the person doesn't have a leg? So I think as much as we want to have things the way we want them, we really need to look at the challenges that can rock the boat eventually. And that's where what is really important for you comes to play. So let's look at what is important for us, but equally look at it concurrently with the risks that can come with that as well.
True. Well said. Heidi, the ball is in your court.
Ladies, you've summed it up very well. I like what you both said very much. And just one last comment. Can you just please be true to yourself?
Right.
Just face yourself and be true to yourself. Don't mess someone else's life and don't take someone else for granted.
That's
just
true.
because you are not true to yourself and you don't know yourself. Know thyself. Yes. Thank you.
Wow,
Temi.
I like that a lot. Know thyself and be truthful to self. We're going to round the show up on that note. And thank you all for watching. And we hope you've been benefited from it. If there's any comment, put it down there and let's see what you think. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Bye bye
Good
for
night.
now. Bye.